My bad. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I recap the wild, the delusional, the dramatic, the crazy bullshit that is the human existence. If that sounds like you and you're nosy like me, you should stick around, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Anyway, let's get right into it. Today we will be in best of Redditor updates, top 2 and not 2. Look, if you need to be entertained, go to this subreddit and I promise you will find something. So today we have something, it might be kind of long. I haven't read it. I haven't read it, so this is going to be both of our first times. So we're going to react to this in real time together, but it was in a thread of top 2024 Redditor updates posts. So I had to read it. It was the number one, so it must be good. All right, here we go. My 42 female husband, 42 male, has informed me that he intends to go on a gaycation with his brother in law, 35 male, in Ibiza. How do I handle this? What? You're my husband and I'm a woman and you're going on a gaycation? I'm so confused. It has some trigger warnings. Let's see what they are. Infidelity, internalized homophobia, accusations of homophobia. So if that sounds triggering to you, then I guess maybe I'll see you next time. It's not triggering to me though. I'm nosy and I want to know. So let's get into it. The original post was, did my lights just flicker? The original post was November 27th, 2024. Hi there. I really wish I didn't have to make this post, but here it goes. So, me and my husband have been happily married for about 16 years, give or take. We both have stable careers, good family life, and are fairly fortunate despite the cost of living racking the UK right now. Yeah, I know it's expensive as hell over there. I mean, everywhere, kinda. We have two boys, 15 and 10, and up until this Sunday, thought we had it pretty good. We argue sometimes, of course, but never gotten too bad. And we have a pretty decent sex life with some exploration, but I won't get into that. Girl, you putting us in your business already. You might as well put us some more in your business. Okay. Long and short is, on Sunday, just after I dropped our boys off at their friends, my husband asked me if we had the house alone and, more importantly, do I have a minute? I said yes, and he sat me down, then got out his printed poster for some sort of orgy and started explaining to me the concept of a gaycation. Excuse me? You know what? If this was me, this post would have been way shorter because right then and there, I would have crashed out. I don't need to know anything more. All I know is we've been married for 16 years. We got two kids that's almost grown, and you're talking to me about a gaycation with a poster? Crash out. Take me to jail right now. I don't need to know nothing else. How it's where straight men go to somewhere with sun, sand, and booze and become gay for the duration of the trip. But that's fine because it doesn't actually count because what happens on the gaycation stays on the gaycation. My bad, y'all. My man would call me when shit is getting good. Why would you interrupt me right now? He must have known. His faith is being nosy radar must have went the fuck off. I told him I'm gonna call him back. I ain't got time to talk right now. Back to what I was saying. How it's where straight men go somewhere with sun, sand, and booze and become gay for the duration of the trip, but that's fine because it doesn't actually count because what happens on the gaycation stays on the gaycation. I was just completely silent and mortified, even more so when he said he was looking into booking a trip to Ibiza next year with his brother-in-law, his sister's husband, to experience it for himself. See, this is what I'm saying. Cuff me right this second because I'm finna lose it. What do you mean it don't count? So you want to, with a man, are you doing the bending or are you getting bent? And it doesn't count? It counts because you want to do it now. You're thinking about it now. Who knows how long you've been thinking about it? And you're going to go there and do it. And then what if you like it? You're already thinking about it. You're going to be thinking about it when you come back. And then what does that mean for me? It doesn't count. I'm going to show you what don't count. Call the police right now. When he finally let me speak, I just said, I need him to be clear with me. Is he gay? Because if yes, that's okay, but we need to figure out what happens going forward. I didn't let myself get angry or upset. You better than me, girl. I was just stunned. He swore up and down he's not gay and he's 100% attracted to women and, of course, still loves me and our boys. So I said, well, do you think you're bi, maybe? And he got very defensive, saying how I need to drop the accusations and that this is the beauty of the gaycation. It allows straight men to experience gayness without actually being gay, and how it's like going to an aquarium. Sir, just because you go on a vacation and call it a gaycation doesn't excuse the fact that you want to have gay sex. It's still gay sex, no matter where you are, no matter what you call it. If you're shagging up with a man, it's gay. Point blank, period. And what the hell do that got to do with an aquarium? If you go to an aquarium, you're not a fish while you're there, and then you leave and you're back human. You're there looking at fish. Are you going to go to the gaycation to just look at men? You can look at men here. You're gay. You're gay. Which I guess if you want to be gay, you're at the very least bisexual. This is blowing me. And again, he was adamant. He doesn't find men's bodies or genitalia exciting at all, but he needs to experience this apparently. I said, well, I'm not really comfortable because even if he was bi, this would be explicitly cheating on me. And he got angry and reiterated he's not because that's the beauty of the gaycation, etc. I just had enough and I left the room. It's crazy how this man just comes up with it doesn't count. Like you're 40 something and you're playing make believe. Nuh it doesn't count because it's a gaycation. So because you're not going to be home, it's not gay, it's not cheating. So then if I go on a vacation and I sleep with somebody else, it's like an aquarium? This is crazy. I ignored him for the rest of the day, but we spoke at tea where I again asked him, why does he want to do this so bad if he's not gay? He said how he's interested in how gay men's lives differ to straight men's, and that unfortunately, once the gaycation begins, it's simply impossible for a man to resist, and he must surrender himself, mind, body, and soul into the gaycation or be destroyed. This has to be fake. I refuse to believe that there is a grown ass 42-year-old man with a wife and kids saying, I'm not gay, it doesn't count, but when I get there, I'm going to surrender my mind, body, and soul to being gay or be destroyed. What does being destroyed even mean? What are you going to die if you can't fuck a man? What the hell? This is crazy. I really can't put into words how surreal it was because he was speaking so matter of factly, and he again insists this is a thing that straight men do all the time and how he's actually doing it a bit late. I just said to him, if he has any love for me, then he can't go ahead with this, and if he does, the marriage will be dead. We didn't speak anymore after that. Okay, if there's any guys watching me, I need to know, is that true? Like, it's something that everybody man does. You have to experience being homosexual at least once, or you're going to be destroyed. Let me know in the comments. Since then, he's mentioned no more of it, but somehow, and this is what scares me a lot too, that decision genuinely seems to be tearing him up. He didn't go into work on Monday and only went in half a day yesterday because he told them he just felt too ill and he just looks distraught every time I see him. I really don't think he's wholly gay, though I can absolutely believe he's bi, but I'd rather we talked about that in a healthy way rather than this incredibly weird denialism around going on a sex holiday to Ibiza. So he's so sad he can't even work. What? And then the other crazy part is so it's you and your sister's husband? How did y'all even start talking about this? How did y'all even say, like, heard about that gaycation? I did. Do you want to go? Okay. Anyone known straight guys to do this and come back and just go back to being straight? Like, that can't be a thing that happens. I'm so out of my depth here, and I just don't know how to even initiate the conversation. For the record, I also haven't mentioned it to his sister yet. I don't know how I'd even break it to her. Thanks for any help. I just don't even want to think so. Being able to get this out there has helped, even just a little bit. You don't want to tell his sister, girl, you might as well. They've been discussing this without you. You better get her on board because she's going to find out sooner or later. So you might as well just get her in the loop, and then he can't be mad because y'all talking behind our backs. And this fully involves us. Like, we're married. We're not married. This is a wild story, man. All right, now to the update. So when I last posted, I'd contacted my husband to tell him he wouldn't be staying at home tonight and a bag would be waiting for him. As you can imagine, we argued quite badly. I won't go into the specific details, but no, I'm not 100% on board with the fact that at a minimum he's bi, might even be gay altogether, which is what I think because he wants some dig bad. We've had arguments in the past, but I've genuinely never seen him have such a childish tantrum before, screaming about how I just don't understand the gaycation. Absolutely despise that phrase now, and insinuating I'm actually homophobic because I refuse to allow him to participate in this cultural exchange with the gay community. You don't think I understand what a gaycation is? You don't even have to really explain it to me, and I still know what it is. A lot of you said to ask him if it'd be acceptable if the roles were in reverse. And I did say, would it be acceptable if I went and slept with other guys during that week? Fucking clockwork. He was very angry and offended, saying it's completely different because a gaycation means nothing, and what happens on the gaycation stays on the gaycation, etc. So it doesn't actually count. Whereas I just be straight up cheating. So how about you go on a gaycation and I go on a straightcation? If I call it a straightcation, does that not count? What are you on? Well, I turned it around on him. No, but you see, what happens in Manchester stays in Manchester. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't count. It's like bird watching. I like her. That was funny. It's like bird watching. And I think it got through to him, question mark. He went all quiet and then started crying, admitting the thought of me sleeping with another man is destroying his heart, but relationships need sacrifices. So agreed, while in tears, that when he goes on the gaycation, I'll get 1 week in Manchester to do whatever I want. He doesn't want me to, but that's fair in a twisted way, he supposed. I need a cigarette because you want pipe so bad. You want it so bad that while you're crying, thinking about me with another man, you're crying real tears. Your heart is broken thinking about me with another man, but you're like, I still want it. I want it so bad. You can go do what you want to do. I told him to get out of my house. Thankfully, he left without a fight. I know it's incredibly petty, but I also drained the joint bank account, legal in the UK, so he couldn't try to use it against me. About an hour later, I got rang up by his mom, my mother in law, who just screamed and screamed at me about being a cheating whore, how I was horrible, what about the kids, etc. It must suck getting stuck with a mother in law from hell. Damn. And then to find out your husband is like this. I could have avoided all this. I could have avoided both of y'all from the beginning. When I finally got my composure back, I just said, ask your son about the gaycation. Obviously, at first she got angry, but I said, no, just ask him about the gaycation. He'll explain. But she called me a fucking joke and hung up. Rude. Later on, getting into the evening, got another phone call from her in floods of tears. She was very apologetic, and I told her she doesn't need to be the one to apologize. She was so upset she put father-in-law on the phone, who, while he sounded calm, I could just sort of tell he was on the warpath. Like, what did you tell your parents? There's no way you told your parents why we really broke up. But there's also no way you told them we're getting a divorce because I cheated. No way. Again, very apologetic and said he overheard that phrase. Asked my husband, and husband initially said, no, it's nothing, before explaining how it's a modern thing men do, etc., and gave them the same spiel about how what happens on the gaycation, men cannot resist the gaycation, how a man must surrender to the gaycation, etc. This shit sounds like a cult. Is this on the poster or the flyer or the website? This sounds like a fucking cult. And also, you're telling that to your father. If that's the case, shouldn't he be like, "You're right, son. I too went on my gaycation. I had to surrender once in my life. It's a man thing." Father in law just said they told him to leave or they call the police. Don't care where he goes, but he wasn't staying there. Husband tried to call me while I was on the phone, but I just ignored it. And father in law just said he was so sorry for me and they have my corner in this. So that's one thing. Told them to be there for their daughter because it sounds like brother in law is involved. Husband didn't tell them that. And father in law just said he had to go because he was so angry. Got a text from my husband after the phone call, which was all weirdly rambly, saying about how I'd abused the gaycation to destroy his marriage and destroy his life. And again, insinuated I and his parents were homophobic for doing such a thing. Told him we'll talk when he grows up and blocked his number. I took a day off work myself to have the locks changed this morning, so that's a 500-pound gone. But whatever. At least I know he won't be coming back. I'm going to look into how to proceed with a divorce and then we'll move on from there. Oh, of course, there's also the brother in law. So I haven't yet met with sister in law. She was in such a state and has taken this far worse than I have for reasons that'll be clear soon. I bet she's pregnant. Ooh. We're going to maybe try tomorrow, but we did talk over the phone and I eavesdropped on the conversation with her husband where she put her phone on speaker and went on mute. Her husband got home earlier. She made him come home, told him there was an emergency, and just said to him, "Can you please explain what a gaycation is?" She told me afterwards she was praying he'd look confused or just be like, "What?" or anything like that. But instead, he just sat her down and explained that a gaycation is a new thing where straight men go to gay hotspots and participate in gay sex acts, but it doesn't count because there's no investment and because it happens on stays on the gaycation. He said it's like writing down angry thoughts and putting them in a drawer. You never have to see them again. These men are delusional. I've said it once and I will say it again. Men are delusional. What do you mean it doesn't count? So if you get on Grinder and hook up with somebody that you never see again, does that not count either? What? Writing down angry thoughts and putting them in the drawer is not the same thing, sir. Whole time, sister-in-law is in tears as he just calmly bats off the same points my husband did about how it doesn't count. And he even did the whole "it's impossible to resist, you must surrender or be destroyed" shit. That's what I'm saying. This shit sounds like a cult. What do you mean surrender? Why do y'all have the same spiel? How do y'all have the same pitch about this thing? I can just picture them together. All right. So when we tell them about it, this is what we gonna say. And they probably just thought they're gonna go for it. If we explain it like this, there's no way they can be mad. There's no way that they can be like, "Nah, you can't do that." They're gonna let us go, bro. Two little ass kids. If you ask my mom to spend the night, she'll say, "Yes, if it's you." Manipulation. I seriously think they must be speaking to a dominatrix. Are there even male doms? Because surely neither of them are that into this to actually make that up on their own. Exactly. This got to be something bigger than, "Oh, I was curious about this gaycation. Can I go?" I really don't want to go into what was discussed for her sake, but it did become very apparent to me that the brother in law is into sissy hypno porn. Sometimes I hear a new sentence. Every now and then I will hear a new sentence, and that was one of them. And at times conflated that with the concept of a gaycation. There was this utterly surreal moment where sister in law is just trying to wrap her head around this while also in floods of tears, and he explained so genuinely, so matter of factly, that for most men, the gaycation is either a one time or annual thing. But some men go on the gaycation for years, and others simply never return because they use hypnosis and mind control to be totally feminized into a state of permanent pseudo gayness. This has to be a mental illness. Pseudo gayness? What even is that? You can't be fake gay. Either you're gay or you're not, or you're bi. Nobody can convince you or hypnotize you into being gay, especially if you don't want to. Nobody is finna come to me and hypnotize me into wanting to eat coochie. I don't want it. No, thank you. It's not gonna happen. they're just making excuses for wanting to go be gay. Just go be gay, bro. You didn't even have to bring up this whole gaycation thing. Honestly, you should have just been honest with your wife. I think I'm gay, and that's it. You're trying to convince her of some shit that you would not even go for. Well, unless you get dick in return, obviously. She said in disbelief, surely if you're taking it up the ass willingly because you want to, that makes you gay. And he said no, because that's the beauty of the gaycation. This is stressing me out. And I see why she hates that word. After this, I'm finna hate that word. That's the beauty of the gaycation. You can do all this gay stuff, but you don't interact with the wider gay life experience. She asked him if the sissy stuff is what he wanted, and he said, not on a long term basis, and was adamant this is something all straight men do, but she wouldn't get it because she's a woman. Women can be gay, and I think I understand that if you don't want to be gay, you're not going to be gay. There's people who are gay who wish they were straight and they just can't do it. Like, you are what you are, bro. You're just living your truth. Then there were more insinuations of homophobia. Well, that marriage is dead too, I suppose. The whole ordeal ended when she said to him he has a choice to make, and he said no, he doesn't need to make this choice because the beauty of the gaycation. You know what? I should have had shots for this. Every time I say gaycation, I should have been taking a shot because then I would be drunk enough to get through this because I don't even know these people and they're stressing me out. The beauty of the gaycation is that it allows him to keep his marriage because it doesn't count. She said that's not the choice. The choice is whether he's leaving the house that night or she is. Period. What? You thought you make the rules around here? No, baby. Either you leaving or I'm leaving. My way or the highway. Only good thing he did was leave. Me and her spoke about it after that, and I'm just still utterly stunned. I understand she's gone to her parents for the support. What exactly did we have to do to have our lives destroyed in such an abrupt, bizarre, and embarrassing way? Per some advice, I'm going to look at devices and bank statements to see if I can find any definitive proof of cheating. After that, I suppose figure out how to tell the boys why their father won't be coming home. The fact that this has been going on for that long is making me want to throw up, girl. I bet. That made me lose weight. That was a crazy story. That was a ride. Yikes. I'm stressed. I'm stressed. What do y'all think about this? Me personally would have been in jail a long time ago. There's no way we've been married for almost 20 years, my boy, and you're going this hard. You damn near joined a cult behind my back. I'm going to jail. There's really nothing else. And then when I'm gone, you can go on your gaycation. Your gaycation. It sounds like two in the closet men who finally decided, I can't keep this a secret anymore. So let's just be open with it. It damn near sounds like they're boyfriends and they just want to say, hey, we're gay and we're going on a vacation with each other because we're in love, but we also still want to be married. That's crazy. Couldn't be me. And I feel sorry for her. There's kids, but at least she has the sister in law to feel what she's going through. Sometimes it's easier to go through hard things when you have somebody who can relate to you, when you don't feel so alone and all that. Well, at least she wasn't pregnant. I definitely thought it was going there. See y'all later. All right. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Like, subscribe, comment, fuck with me, please.